Hey everybody, Mike here from CMMG. And with it being Independence Day weekend and we're all about to head out and enjoy the freedoms that this great country provides, I'd like to take a second and remind you that those very freedoms we enjoy are under attack. Most recently, there's been a leaked ATF internal document that warns of privately made firearms. Essentially, it's saying that anyone that builds a firearm at home is a terrorist. Okay, let's get into that a little bit. So they're primarily concentrating heavily on what most people would refer to as an 80% lower. This is also going to cover 3D printed guns and things of that sort. So they're basically concerned about untraceable guns, in their words, that don't have serial numbers on them. So bear in mind that the ability for somebody to build their own firearm at home has been legal since the inception of this country and the Second Amendment. So it's 100% legal, but they are deeming it, an act of terrorist tactics, techniques, and procedures. So yeah, they're just trying to come after us any way they can. And now, bear in mind, this is a leaked document that isn't necessarily supposed to have seen the light of day, but fortunately, there is a good soul out there that did leak it for us. And this allows us to see the inner workings of some of these departments. One of the things that they're also keeping track of, in this document, that they're basically just telling people, hey, look out for people that make guns, look out for people that have abnormally large online orders. Man, that one gets me. Abnormally large online orders. They're also talking about people that have, you know, a fair amount of stuff in their house. So I mean that's really pretty subjective. I mean, because how many times have you guys seen a report or something on the news where someone's like, "This guy had an arsenal in his house. He had 2 guns, 3 magazines, and a handful of ammunition." And then we just kind of look at it and under our breath chuckle because we're like, man, that's more than or that's significantly less than I take to a range day or a training day. So, somebody's definition of arsenal could greatly vary from ours. Again, like this is all sorts of stuff that is speculative. It's subjective. It really depends on who's looking at it. So, no clear definitions make for, you know, treacherous waters for us to be in right now. The Truth About Guns has a really good article on this entire leaked document, and they do a way better job of describing it, and they actually have the leaked document itself. So I'm going to put a link to that in the description down below. So I just wanted that to be on everybody's mind and everybody's radar, because this is every different way they can come at us. They're trying. As I talk about 80% lowers and 3D printed things, let me remind you that there are a couple of proposed rule changes in the Federal Register right now, open for comment, regarding changes the ATF is trying to get past us. The first, let me actually find the name of it. It's a proposed change to the definition of frame or receiver and identification of firearms. Basically, on this one, they're coming after 80% lowers. They're coming after 3D printed stuff. They're going so far as to try to reclassify or rename certain parts that have been fairly commonly available for quite some time, as a receiver, and therefore requiring them to have serial numbers. These parts can be things like stripped uppers, barrels, bolts. I mean, their definition of what encompasses a receiver is a lot broader now. So it's really kind of going to put a hurt on everybody because this is just. It's changing the name of things that have been available for a long time. And I don't really see offhand how there's going to be any type of grandfathering to this. So it just looks to be a pain. The main thing to take away from this is they're trying to serialize everything and make you do a background check on everything. They don't want any untraceable firearms. They don't want any untraceable parts. They want more control on every aspect of guns. And let's keep in mind that the good guys with guns aren't the problems. It's the bad guys with guns. This is going to do nothing to stop bad guys with guns. So it's just, you need to get out. You need to comment on that. The second part of that video, or not, sorry, second part of what I'm trying to talk about there is the other proposed rule change regarding pistol stabilizing braces. And they, man, they have basically, as you've seen in previous videos of mine and other people have put out there, they have come up with this arbitrary numbering system that if your pistol with a stabilizing brace comes in under a certain number, it's cool. If it comes in over a certain number, they deem it to be NFA, short barrel rifle, and it needs to be registered with the NFA. You need to pay the tax on it. Well, they've really stacked the deck in their favor. I mean, I can't see any pistol with a brace coming in under the point system they're allowing. They've really, really, really stacked it in their favor, but that's totally pointless. If by some, I don't know, some miracle you are able to get a pistol with a brace to come in under that number, it doesn't matter, because an individual agent could look at your firearm and go, "Oh, you're trying to circumvent the NFA, so that's an SBR." So they can make the decision right there on the spot. So, both of these things are, both of these changes or rules that they're proposing really need to have us get out and comment on them. Comments are open on them. As of me recording this, the first one I spoke about regarding the definition, the change of the definition for a receiver in firearms. As of me recording this, that one has just over 78,000 comments and 49 days left to comment. So keep in mind, you can comment more than once. Share it with your friends. Share it with all your, gun-loving friends. Anybody that doesn't like government overreach. This is what this is. So we definitely need to get on there and comment on that. The second one regarding pistol stabilizing braces has just over 108,000 comments and 69 days left. As I've said in my previous videos, this is a gross overreach by a department of government trying to change definitions to better fit their narrative. Now, this is not a law-making body, but their rules seem to hold the weight of law. And these rules have the potential to turn felons out of legal gun owners with the stroke of a pen. So if you haven't commented on these letters, do it right now. Stop watching this video. I don't care. Go comment it. The links are in the description down below. Go do that. That is of utmost importance. Now, remember, when commenting on these, they are going to be requesting your full information. Previously, I had mentioned that they have a way to comment anonymously. But if you actually look at their comment, regulations, they are saying you need to put your full name and address in there. And I know there's a lot of you that go, "I don't want to give my information. I'm going to be the first door that they come knocking on." You're not. Let's face it. If you've ever received a piece of mail, if you've ever registered to vote, which I hope you have, if you've paid your taxes to your county, anything of that sort, the government's got your information. So this isn't a big deal. But we also need to bear in mind that we need to be cordial. We need to show that we are level-headed people. We can't go in there being profane, swearing at people, threatening people. We need to state the facts. We need to say, "Hey, this is an overreach in these areas for these reasons." There are quite a few good templates out there. Keep in mind, too, you don't necessarily want to copy and paste something that somebody else has already done, because their system picks up that type of thing. Even if it's just super simple, like this is an overreach that I will not stand for, and that's a start. At least you're commenting. And on top of commenting on these proposed changes, I will also take a second and say, contact your elected officials too, for multiple reasons. First and foremost, primarily is to let people know that they need to let their officials vote no on the appointment of David Chipman as the director of the ATF. They've had his confirmation hearing going on, and last I heard, I believe it went to a split line vote, and it's coming out of committee to be voted on. Now, David Chipman has made no attempt to hide that he doesn't like the AR-15, and he fully supports an assault weapons ban. If that's not enough, Senator Dianne Feinstein said, and I quote, "He's the leader the ATF needs." Now, that should scare all gun owners to death, because she has been so rabidly anti-gun over the years, and she thinks he's a good choice. He is not a good choice. He has a very bad bias against what he calls assault weapons. And that is not what the leader or the director of the ATF needs. That person needs to be able to interpret the Constitution and apply it correctly. In which case, in my opinion, I would say the director of the ATF needs to abolish its own department. But, that's a story for another time, and I'm sure a lot of you agree with that too. But you need to get a hold of your elected officials and let them know, do not vote in David Chipman. Now, I know there are going to be a lot of you that are in areas that your elected official might be on a different side of the aisle than a pro-gun side, and you're thinking to yourself, well, it's pointless for me to contact them because they're going to vote for him anyway. Well, they want to get reelected also, and if you have enough people say, don't vote for this person, or I won't vote for you next time, or I'm going to vote against you, even if you weren't. They fear losing their office just as much, and them doing something against enough people might sway them. So you can't have them reject it if you don't try to at least reach out to them. So elected officials also. And along with letting them know that you want them to vote no on David Chipman, also let all your elected officials know that you're not going to stand for any more infringements of our Second Amendment rights. I mean, our right to bear arms is under attack, and it's under attack by politicians. It's under attack by unchecked government departments. It's been under attack by certain administrations that just, they don't want us to have our guns, and they're trying to do everything they can. So, all right, guys, I've talked enough. So keep an eye out on that leaked ATF letter. Make sure you go comment on the proposed rule changes in the Federal Register. Contact your elected officials, because more than ever, we have to stay vigilant. We have to stay in this fight. We have to all band together and do this together. I don't care if you're not an AR person. I don't care if you only like double barrel shotguns. I don't care if you only like wheel guns. We have to stand together. We have to quit the infighting, because if we don't all stand together now and fight against this overreach, then maybe some of us that stand for certain things right now won't be there to help others that don't later. It's gonna affect us all, and we all, like I said, we need to stop the infighting. We are not the enemy. Gun owners and gun enthusiasts, we are not the enemy. Politicians and unchecked government agencies are the enemy, and we need to stand up and fight against them. So guys, be vigilant, stay in this fight, and as always, stay safe out there. We here at CMMG, we were gun enthusiasts and gun lovers and gun owners way before we were a gun manufacturer. We've been in the trenches fighting for our Second Amendment rights, and we will continue to do so. And if you like what we're doing here with this new format, just let us know. Give us a quick like and subscribe. It helps us out a lot to let us know that you appreciate what we're doing, and we will keep fighting.